And so what BPV is a end-to-end solution to manage the entire life cycle of Acumatica. So what does that mean? The best example is right here. So this is a workspace. Here is a tile. This tile points to all the business processes associated with this particular customer. These business processes are processes, a business process. So if we go into distribution, we have these processes: pick, pack, receive, cross-stocking, sell from stock, and the list goes on and on. What BPV does is, first of all, it organizes all the business processes by process and by business process owner. So if we go into one example, we will just go into WMS operations. In WMS operations, it has a header, which is here's the process name. And then we have process type and revision. And those fields are designed to organize the business processes. So the process type is an advanced topic that we'll get into later, but revision is a core foundation. And that means as you get better, you want to optimize these processes. And how we optimize the process is through communications using the Acumatica platform. And this brings up another core foundation. The problem with business processes is that you have to be able to communicate those across your business process owners. So if I go back out and I go back into ePedigree, and here is the distribution processes, and then here are business process owners. Here's purchasing, here's finance, here's compliance. The next major milestone is that I have to be able to communicate across not only my business processes, but my business process owners. And so the goal of this with overview is to just give you an overview, because when you look at what it takes to manage the entire life cycle of an ERP system, you get into a bunch of pillars. So here are some of the pillars. It manages upgrades. It manages the architectural customizations from design to refined to perform to task and task proof and proof of delivery. Here's the foundational pillars. Cultural eliminates, we're not ready for this. It brings in an agile capability. This is a cultural pillar: mindset and ownership. And that mindset and ownership is that you own it. Then we have a digital transformation. So these are the cultural transformation and then the digital transformation. So we've got digital, meaning that BPV manages the entire life cycle of Acumatica. And then another digital is stop using email for project management statuses. So typically in any project, people are using email for updates, for communications, and you get into, I sent it to you. What's the status? I didn't get the email. Did you get the email? It's complete chaos. So we stopped using email. Here's a digital transformation. Details the business process at your choice of detail. Cultural eliminates confusion that I just talked about. Cultural groups employees into business process owners and who owns what. Without these visual tools, most ERP implementations are like a flag in the wind, just waving around going, I have no idea who's who. Digital creates tangible business processes. So when I talk about groups employees into business process owners, here it is. These are Connor's business processes. These are Elizabeth's. These are Chris, and so forth and so on. And then when I say creates tangible business processes, Connor here is, let's just look at DSCSA. So here's the tangible processes. Here he's not detailed a lot. And so let's go back out. This is a fantastic example. So here's what Connor decided to do is he created a business process called receipt to ship, which frankly is everything that you receive, put away. So here he's got the steps. We have the process steps. So when I click that, these items here are reflected here. It's just a tree view. So he's got an entire process of open purchase orders, receive and put away, smart ship order processing, process shipments, um, steps that are passed, steps for receiving that are passed, and steps passed for shipping. And then he's got PO issue process, dating approval process, and then counter testing and corner testing. So when we look at this, these are all the steps. We'll drill into them. And then we've got setup steps, which we did. He didn't put these in, but this is how you configure the system. They didn't go into approvals because they did this manually, but this would be where you create a new revision and you send it out to your team. And then you have the activities, and the activities they didn't do because activities would be create a task, like in any project management, create the task. When we create a task, what it does, it gives you the summary. And then we've got this related entity, which is related to the BPV. So this is an advanced topic that really blows people away because we're doing everything to manage an ERP system, and it's just a lot. But tasks are task items. What's the task? What's the summary? What's the start date? What's the due date? What percent is completed? What work group owns it? Who's the actual owner? And here's the related entity. These are all associated with this BPV. And then we have cases. So, when you call customer service and you talk to somebody about an issue, well, a case, I'll show you these cases, can be assigned by business process. These topics tend to take somebody maybe a year to fully understand. But going back to Connor's example, he's got these processes, and then within each step, you can get very granular. Did the step pass? What's the screen? What's the result? And most importantly, for this beginning phase, here's a test proof. So when I click that, it's actually a proof, and I won't show that because it's confidential, of the actual transaction. And it shows the department role that did it, and ultimately when it was done and the date and time. So here we've got what I want to jump to. These are additional receiving. This is what's called Smart Ship. Smart Ship is an advanced topic. Process shipments is another advanced topic, but he's got each step in here. And then what's most important is he's got this testing. So he actually went in, created a PO, received it, released it, etc. And he's got his test proofs on it so that he knows that that they are ready to go and that they worked on. So he's not looking everywhere to try to figure out, am I ready to go? And then he had his second in command do the same thing and make sure she was ready to go. So this is a lot of detail. And so if we look at this distribution ship to receipt, we go back to the e-pedigree readiness and we go back into distribution. Now, instead of having to drill in like I just did, I can go right here and it's green. And it's green because those items passed. Now, one last topic that I'll talk about in that within each one of these processes, we're able to create a recording. And there's a lot of really cool tools out on the market where you can create a recording of the step. So on each one of these steps, you can attach pictures, notes, you can attach the screen. So when I click the screen, that's great. but I think based on, 30 years of ERP experience, most people are extremely visual. And so we've got lots, you can put a graphic in here, but what we've done with the latest revision is you can actually create a video of the step by step. And so I'll show that in the next video. But this would really kind of conclude what is BPV? And BPV is this, it manages the entire life cycle of Acumatica ERP, and it can go into great granular detail. Another way of saying this is that BPV is your policy and procedures manual. And for the owner, BPV is your EBITDA exit, and it's the manual to the next owner on how to run the company and who's doing what. Advanced topics that I would like to talk about in the next couple videos is BPV recording, knowing the cost of a business process, auditing of business processes for what we call CRUD operations, which is create, update, delete, who's doing what,